Good afternoon. The Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust will be in session, and the first item on the agenda today is the approval of the minutes from the meeting of September the 18th. Move approval. Have a motion and a second. Do we have a second? Did yours?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Voting, please. Minutes are approved. Next item is the consent docket.
Move the consent docket, subject to individual consideration.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve the consent docket. Are there matters to be considered separately? Hearing none, voting, please. Consent docket's approved. Next item is the concurrence docket.
Move the concurrence docket, subject to individual consideration.
Any items to be considered separately? Voting, please. Concurrence docket's approved. Next item 4, items for individual consideration. The first one is a land acquisition in West Elm Creek.
Mr. Chairman, in this case, I think we're talking about,
This at least.
pardon me, I got my act together here. So, what we have for you is a report about land acquisition, but we also go on to talk about fees. We have acquired a little over 20 acres, we've acquired some acreage over the last year. We have 60 acres. We have an additional 10 acres that we're pursuing at this time following a property owner's offer. What I'd like to do, though, is defer action on this item so that we can bring you back a table that shows you how the rate changes will be adjusted for our renters on the West Elm and Lake Draper properties. We included some smaller properties, but not the larger ones. The document is not fully explanatory. I would be happy to answer questions about the properties generally, if you'd like.
Okay. I guess when we receive, never need a motion to receive the report, I guess. Somebody want to move that, I'd accept that in a second. Report's received. Next item is water service agreement with the City of Blanchard.
Blanchard is renewing its existing agreement and extending it with a conversion from our take-or-pay wholesale rate to the service availability rate. And I would defer detailed questions about this to Brent Weingarten, who is the chief negotiator.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the agreement, water service agreement with the City of Blanchard. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, voting please. Water service agreement with Blanchard is approved. Next item, quitclaim deed for an oversized water infrastructure.
This is the completion of a Policy A cost participation agreement for water main. We've, instead of constructing an 8-inch water line, have constructed a 16-inch water line. It's 4 inches larger than the 12-inch that was required. Our total cost is about 13% of the $256,000 that was spent on the pipeline.
Move approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of the oversized water infrastructure and authorize the purpose. Voting, please. Item 5C is approved. Next item is a joint revocable permit with Oklahoma City and the Eagle Ridge Institute to hold the turkey trot, I guess, on Lake Hefner, on the Lake Hefner Reservation. Is there anyone here to speak on that? Have a
I'll
motion-
move approval.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Voting, please. The turkey trot run has.
Mr. Chairman, just the $1,186 sounds very specific, and I just wondered how we calculate revenue for an event such as that.
So it goes to costs for certain kinds of things that will be done, sometimes by the police, if it's barricades for
Okay.
streets.
So we've got a formula we use that calculates out what that is?
We do, and
Okay.
we use the same
Yeah.
formula for everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
Next item is item from trustees. Any comments from trustees? Next is general manager's report, fiscal year 2016 monthly pro forma and status report through August 31st.
It's, water and wastewater revenues this year are both down around 0.7% below forecast. We know that in the case of water, that's about having a pretty wet summer. We also think that some of that is a response to the conservation program. So we have PFM helping us look at that along with our rate planning forecasters, Arcadis, helping us to look at the data now in some detail. Clearly, we enjoy having conservation. We want to make certain we understand where we're headed with this and bring you an update about that. And that will be sometime this winter, I think, that we have a meaningful information for that about you. We're also PFM is also looking at our commercial paper program and given the size of the capital program, how we might best blend the commercial paper program with the other financing tools that we have available to us. That work is beginning in earnest as well. I was happy to answer questions.
Marcia, I know you didn't mean to give any indication like this. I look upon a reduction in use of water, if it's due to conservation efforts by the public, as a positive thing. And again,
Yes, sir.
I didn't take it to where you meant anything other than just reporting, but I just wanted to emphasize, I think that's a good report to receive.
Yes, sir, it is. And we believe that our income is tracking well against our expenses. We just want to make certain we fully understand the impacts, because in the severe drought that started 4 or 5 years ago, some utilities that hadn't used inclining blocks had some problems. So we're a little over. We want to be very attentive to that. I believe that the Water Trust took a very conservative approach to financial conservative approach to conservation to protect us from those foibles. But we want to track it every minute, basically.
Any other questions? Any citizens to be heard? No one has signed in. Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.